Start recording. Good morning. Come on in. Welcome to the SHAC. Safe, happy and creative. Stay home and craft. And here we are again. I'm in the southeast of England in a little town called Crowborough, high on the hill. I'm going to start breaking into song here in a minute. Where are you? Hey, where are you, my friends? All over the place, all over the geographical place, and probably, if you're anything like me, all over the place. It's a funny old world at the moment, isn't it? I was speaking to my mum on the phone last night. She's in a really good place. You know, she managed to get 2 hip replacements, one just before last March, and then one where there was a little window. Do you remember? A little window of opportunity. And I was squeaking, talk about squeaky wheels get oiled. And I was squeaking the whole time. I think they were sick of hearing me. But at the very first opportunity, there was a little tiny window of opportunity. It was a private clinic. They opened the doors. They were open for about a week doing non-COVID related things and got mum in. And now she's walking beautifully. She doesn't use a walking stick. You know, she's in a good place. And then she's charmed, really. She got her booster jab, she got her COVID jab, and my dad, and now, of course, she's had a booster jab as well. So she's in a really good place. You know, and I was talking to her last night. She cheers me up. I am not worried about my mum, and my mum has been a worry for me for a long time. You know that. Not now. It's flipped. Mum's my mum again. You know, she's like, right, she's more worried about me than I am about her. And last night she made me laugh because I said, you know, how are you doing? And then with the news and that. And she said, come on in. Morning, Susan. She said, it's entertaining. Just like, you remember in Dad's Army, the Scotsman? Yeah. It's very entertaining. And when a German woman says it, it sounds hilarious. Yeah. So at the end of the conversation, I said, what are you going to do? She says, I'm going to listen to my entertainment. That's what she thinks about the news. It's the only way she deals with it, you know, just by, it's gallows humour, I suppose, isn't it? But it's really good to see my mum in such high spirits, you know, and my dad. It's contagious, isn't it? That's the thing. If you make up your mind to smile and make the best of a really bad situation, then it's better. It's better, isn't it? Yeah. So she's 83 this year. Bless her heart. And it's all very entertaining. Come on in. Welcome to the SHAC. Oh, I should really not be pressing all these buttons, but I am. Come on in. Morning, Jilly. Morning. Oh, who did I see there? Ken. Welcome to the SHAC. All you shackers. Right, so we're still colouring in cups. We're glazing our teacups. There you go, that sounds better. We're still colouring in cups. You know, it's how you put things, isn't it? It's how you put things. The tone maketh the music. Der Ton macht die Musik. Come on in. Have you got your tea? It's drizzling here in Crowborough. Where are you? What does that say? Mañana Estepona, Bethesda, North Wales. I was talking to Linda Williams yesterday. She said that COVID is going back down again in Wales, which is good because it was really a hot spot, wasn't it? I had to go and get a test on Monday. What a fiasco that was. It's all right, though. It's okay. It's all fine. It is what it is. You just go with it, don't you? But it was a lot of queue and a lot of standing around in the cold. Yeah. Cool, I thought if I haven't got COVID, I'll get pneumonia anyway. But I have to say, these are in Kent, these are army setups for people that don't have symptoms, non-symptomatic testing stations, and they're being run by the military, by the army. I cannot fault these men, you know, these men and women, absolutely amazing. So kind, so helpful, you know, really brilliant. Really brilliant. And you know, because it was all about apps, and if you've done these tests, you'll know that you have to be pretty computer literate, you know. And I was thinking, blimey, I am. and I haven't got a clue. I couldn't get it right, you know. You needed a certain app on your phone to be able to scan something, and I didn't have it. But these guys, they didn't get impatient. They were there to help, you know. They were there to calm you down. It was brilliant, absolutely amazing, you know. And there were hundreds of people. The car park was rammed. Yeah, Kent, not good at the moment. But there you go, Detling that was, in Maidstone, just outside Maidstone. At the showground. I've done shows there before now. I never thought I'd go back to have a pandemic test, but there we are. All good, all good. Dodge that bullet. Oh dear, oh dear. Come on in. It's time to doodle. Do you fancy? Morning, Paul. Oh yeah, Paul, lovely Paul Church. He's in the room with me, of course he is. And he will answer any of your questions, if you have any inquiries. He's there to entertain you. Right, we're ready. It's time for more clarity. Clarity, get it? Let's have a little regroup. Just in case there are some new friends joining, some new shackers in our mad little shacker family here. Let's have a look. We'll just regroup where we started and what we're doing. So we started out by, didn't we? We doodled a teacup, doodled the shape, got the pattern. Now, this is the key. Hold this thought. Hold this thought. Of course it's in a cup because we're doodling cups, but hold the thought, the original artwork. It's a hill. It's more than one hill. If I wanted to, couldn't I though? Hang on, I've got to need my other glasses for this one. Let's just hold this thought for a moment. If that's your cup, then of course, take away the cup, take away the step away from the cup. But say, for example, you could put, look, you could put different hills in, couldn't you? Do you check it out? Do you see what I'm getting at? Hang on. There you go. Suddenly we've got landscapes, we've got paths. We can make them further away. See that one? That's a path and it's getting further away. Do you see what I'm getting at? Hold that original thought, because what's happened is we're so focused on our cups that all we're seeing now is cups. All we're seeing now is cups, but there's still a landscape in there with lovely flowers. Do you remember we did the flowers at the top? Of course, then what we did was we stacked our cups, didn't we? Somebody was asking me on Facebook, where'd you get the stamp or the stencil or the download for the cups? It's like, well, last Monday we doodled our own and then we made stacks. And when I look at the artwork that you are producing, golly, fantastic. See, so now, here's a copy. I made a copy so that I can remember what it looks like. You know, if you colour in the original without scanning your line art, your black art, then you've got to go from scratch every time, haven't you? So, see, there's a copy of what we did. We introduced all those lovely doodles. Then we did a moment of clarity. Do you remember? It's coming a little closer, honey. Hang on. There you go. Do you remember we decided what we were going to... What did you put in your little tag? I went with a moment of clarity. There you go. That's when I started with that lovely swirly, I like the of. And then we started colouring in, didn't we? There you go. Boom. So I did the top one. Let's have a look. Do you remember that's what we did Monday? And we were picking out our colours. I decided to go with yellows and oranges and pinks and fuchsias and teals. So look how dark I've gone. Now, if that doesn't look like dramatic, nice. I wouldn't mind that cup in my kitchen, I can tell you. Yeah, so just a little bit of shading, a little bit of colouring. Yeah, lots of room for improvement. Maybe I've gone too dark, I don't know. The thing was, I was in the process, you know, we were talking about that, about getting in the art. And in the end, the outcome isn't even the primary purpose. The primary purpose is the process, the doing of it, you know. And for me, I just got caught up in it. After we stopped chatting on Monday and the cameras went off and that, I just sat here. Well, no, I sat like this. right, because I'm closer to the table. And I just sat here colouring in, and I was in my little element, you know. And then I had to go for my test. So that was my way of calming myself down, you know. And it worked. It sure did. So today we're going to colour in another cup, all right? Because it's all about the process. And we can chat while we colour, can't we? Hey? Should we chat while we colour? How are you doing anyway? How are you doing? You all right? You all right? Are you sleeping okay? My diet's not going very well. I don't know. I said to Dave, I think it's more like comfort eating or something. I don't know. Yeah, I think it is. I've got to break that habit though. Because, listen, I can only wear leggings anymore. None of my jeans fit. That's it. If it don't stretch, it don't fit. There you go. If it don't stretch, it don't fit. So I've got tights on, as in woolly tights, because it's cold. Look, they stretch. So I could eat my way into these. It's not the most important thing on my list at the moment, but I really do need to get a handle on it, because the longer I comfort eat, the further away I'm getting from those jeans that are in the cupboard. I don't want to get another size up. I don't, because that's like capitulation, isn't it? Come on in. Are you bored with me yet? And the good news is you can turn the sound down, you know. Half of you can't find the sound some of the time. Right, come on. Stop larking about, Gray. I'm on my own in here. I got a little bit of a resentment going. So I thought, how can I, who has not left the building, have to go for a test? That's mad. But there you go. That'll learn me. Now, I need my sharpener. It's all good though. It's all good, could be a lot worse. Golly. That'd be entertaining, that would. Right, I've got my pencils. Pink and purple and fuchsia. I tell you what I did want to grab. The pergoliner. That really is a lovely. Let me just put these over here. There's a really lovely fuchsia in the pergoliners. B14. I like this one. It's got a lovely colour. What we need is a bit of paper, still where I left it on Monday. A little bit of paper, yeah, just to check the colour. Right, come on. Have you done all yours already? Are you being smug? Don't tell me you've already completed your 3 teacups. Have you? I haven't. Let's have a look. So I've got these colours going on. That's a lovely colour, the B14. What have I got here? This one is purple pink. That's almost the same really, isn't it? All right. And then I've got a light one. That's the one I used to establish that this is the pink one. Yeah? They're all the same sort of pencil. That's the key, isn't it? I mean, there's some. I ended up with this one. I went in with dark. I went for it. I went in with reds and oranges, but the family's the same. The family. I even went in with greys. You know those set of 12, all the grey polychromos. I went in with the Payne's grey. I even went in with black. And then I thought, hang on, Grey, you're obliterating all your colouring here. Well, that's where I was on Monday prior to going to Detling. I wasn't feeling particularly yellow. If you had to pick a colour, to describe yourself at the moment, like if you say, I'm feeling blue, you know, I know people say I'm feeling blue, or are you feeling yellow? Or are you feeling green? Are you feeling pink? If Jane Telford's in the building, she always feels pink. Are you feeling grey? What colour would you What do you think? Dark blue, sky blue, orange, red. What do you think? I feel today I'm definitely tealy, like bordering on blue. Can't make my mind up. Do I want to go for a walk in the green? Do I want to just hole up? That's where I'm at, to be fair. It's not easy at the moment keeping smiling, is it? Staying positive. What do you find? Do you find, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Right, come on, let's get some of this colour in. See, that's the colour that we're going to put round the edge. Yeah. See, now you've already done one. You know where the light goes and where the... So that line there got a bit muddied up, didn't it, Grey? Let's lighten it up again. See, that's the thing about these pencils. You can get rid of, you smudged it a bit. Look, you can really lighten it up. Okie dokie. Now, the other thing I was trying to do here, it didn't work very well, but I'm trying to make it look like porcelain, if you know what I mean, like china. So a little bit of a shine on it, and then I thought, oh, don't get too technical, Grey. My head wasn't in it on Monday. Right, here we go. So we're going to get another layer of pink down. In fact, when I look at what I did there, having gone round the outside of the pink here, really, I did the whole thing in. It's coming a bit tighter. How's that? Is that better? Right, and I'm going to come down a little bit. Yeah, closer. Eyes on the wonk. It's good getting old. So, are we doing this for speed? No. Are we doing this for... Right. I'm going to put a light pink through here. Come on, we've got to get this done. We can't be making these, colouring in these cups forever. Let's just do this. Like really, look, like this, light circular motions, really light. You can get a whole area done really quickly like that, look. See? Because you've got a chisel. Do that. Come on. Right, that's it. And this one. Because if we're going to make the dots black, you haven't got to keep going round them, have you? Just do a light pink. I'm not rushing. I'm just getting an undercoat down. There you go. That'll do. Yeah, that's better, Grey. Be here all day. See, one of the other things is... Oh, hang on, Princess and the Pea. I've got a bit of grit or something here. Right, let me make sure I'm on my chisel. That's it. Right, get your colour in. Nice. There you go. It doesn't have to take too long, does it? In fact, we'll even put a little bit of an undercoat on the flowers because, as we know, if we want to get the white coming back, all we've got to do is use our eraser pencils. Right, there you go. That's the brilliance of the pergoliners and the polychromos. So, I mean, that's the light pink we've just used all the way through there. That wasn't bad, was it? And then... don't throw it away so lovelessly, Barbara, because then you won't find it. Let's come in a little bit, shall we? There we go. Now, what am I going to use next? I think I'll use the pergoliner. So with the pergoliner, do you remember what I said about if you want to put the colour in... Oh, I need my other glasses. This is getting desperate. Right. Do you think chocolate affects your eyesight? Because that could be it. Right, come on. Stop fannying about, Barbara. There you go. So we're going to put our little doodle in. Slow down. Slow down. That's it. Now we're getting there. Yeah. I was talking to Dave this morning. I said, the thing is, this isn't a masterclass, is it? So you haven't paid top dollar to sit here and... Because that would change the dynamic completely. The whole purpose of the SHAC, do you know what? See if these look nice. If you, rather than black on this one, I might do these in pink. Yeah, I mean, the SHAC, it's just a bunch of friends hanging out together, keeping each other company. There have been some of you, you know, I know that you hang out online in between our meetings, don't you? In between the sessions. See, that's cool. I like that. I think this looks nice. Yeah, not black. I'm going with this. Where I put black in there, I'm going to put pink in, the fuchsia colour. That's it. Just do all the dots in pink. Nice. Hey? Yeah, it's all right. It's going to be all right. Yeah, and then we've got to sort the flowers out. We'll do that later. Do every other one of these again. Yeah. Yeah, so the whole idea is here that we just keep each other company. Hey? I'm definitely better on a Monday, Wednesday and a Friday than I am on a Tuesday or a Thursday. Every time. Strange that. I know what I'm doing on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. I wake up and I'm not rudderless. I know exactly what I've got to do. It must be awful for people who can't go to work. I know last year, you know, at first a lot of people thought, whoa, furlough, haven't got to go to work. But you know, after a while it gets a bit, I think it wears you out, because you've got to keep active, you know. So whilst I might sometimes get worn out with work, trying to keep the business afloat, I do also think that I'm very lucky. We're very lucky that we work in an industry, in a sector that's still able to keep going, you know, because we're manufacturers. We haven't got a bricks and mortar shop. Those poor people. Yeah, I know people that have had to shut their doors. It's awful. This looks nice with this fuchsia, doesn't it? I like that. Yeah. Okay, cool. I think I'll put a little bit of depth in there. Oh, did you see me just stroll straight over the edge there? There you go. Easy. We've got a new idea coming up soon. So I think one of the things that I really enjoy, even though we can't talk to each other, like now, we're not talking to each other. You're talking to each other, and Paul's there. He's talking. He's chatting away to you. I bet he is. He can't help himself. I don't know what I'd do with that, Paul. But what I like about Facebook Live, about what we're doing here, is that it is interactive in a way. Even though you and I can't interact properly, we do in sort of, yeah, there is an interaction here, because it's not like a YouTube recording. You know, if you go to Clarity Stamp YouTube, our YouTube channel, I've been doing YouTubes for years. Like years, long, hundreds of them. How to do this, how to use a jelly plate, how to pull a print, how to use masks, you know, we've got them for everything, for stamping, for stencils, for colouring. It's all been done in YouTubes, right? But the thing is, when I do YouTubes, when we record those, or when we used to, it was just me on my own, staring at the camera. It's a pre-record, it's recorded. There's no audience, there's nobody, I know there's no one there, right? Whereas here, I know that you're there. Makes a big difference psychologically, you know? So even though I can't hear you, I can, if you get what I mean. And the thing that we agreed about the SHAC is that It is sacred as it is. I don't want to change it. It's not going anywhere. It's exactly what we started out with it for. It hasn't changed its purpose. It's just to keep you company, you know, and have some fun along the way. You know, you don't have to be alone. You don't have to feel lonely. Okay, it gives you something to do, gives you a plan to get up and so on. This is looking good, isn't it? So what we thought was, and again, this is quite appropriate, a moment of clarity. Have a look, right? Because this is, actually it's a coincidence, but where I've written a moment of clarity, right? We've been planning this for a little while now. We thought, doesn't that look nice on the angle like that? Let me turn it round. Ooh, that looks really like dimensional, doesn't it? Because of the black there, the darkness. We'll do that. We'll do that. This looks a bit flat, but wait till it's all done. Be lovely. So the moment of clarity, we've been thinking about this for a while now. And so what we want to do is start another little Facebook Live. It's all about the interaction on Facebook for me, right? So it'll be like the SHAC, except what it'll be is, it'll be me chatting away, demonstrating, doing a proper full-on demo with new products, like when we used to hang out at the NEC, okay, or at Ali Pali, or see, we can't do that anymore. That train's left the station. I'm hoping I really am hoping that we'll be able to hang out at the Spa Hotel and do our retreats, you know, this year. I really am hoping that. And yeah, and I'm optimistic in that regard. I think that will happen eventually. But these great big gatherings, like when we used to hang out at the NEC and that, I don't know whether that will ever happen again, or whether I ever want to do it. I mean, you know, those of you who know me, have known me for a while, you'll also know that I've been doing those shows for the best part of 30 years now, 25, 30, well, including the American ones, 30 years. That's a long time. And they're hardcore. They're hard work, you know. When you're 30, it's not so bad. But when you're 60, like I'm 62 soon, you start to lose if it's, you know, your knicker elastic just doesn't ping back like it used to. I'm getting old and I'm accepting that. So whether we ever actually, Dave and I and Paul, whether we, the three of us, go back on the road, doesn't that look good? I don't know. The jury's out on that. You know, one of the things that the lockdown and being isolated like this has taught me is that it can be done differently. There you are. We can do this differently. And so in a roundabout way, what I'm saying is I want to start another little show, and it's going to be called A Moment of Clarity. Moment of Clarity, right? And the idea is that it just be me, again, like in the SHAC, and you, just like in the SHAC, you can come along and you can watch the demos, and Paul will be there and he'll give you the links to the new products. So it'll be a bit more selly. That's the bottom line. See, we don't sell here. We don't sell, do we? This is not a selling platform. This is not a selling platform. This is a community platform. This is where we hang out together. But the Moment of Clarity will be more of a selling platform. It'll be where we bring something, where I want to show you how to use something really cool and new, maybe something old. Maybe you want to know how to do gel press prints. You want to know how what do I do with that lace that comes with the jelly plate, you know, etc., etc. So we thought that these moments of clarity, and they will be moments of clarity, and we're going to do them. We're going to start the first one. I don't want to put pressure on myself. I don't want to start suddenly popping up all over the place, having little moments of clarity. We're just going to do one a month to start with. One a month, that's not exactly hardcore, is it? Gently, gently. Do you remember I said we're travelling gently through this year? Yeah. And so the first one's on Friday, but they're always going to be at 3 o'clock. That and on a Friday at the moment, all right? So Friday at 3 o'clock, it's like crackerjack. It's Friday, it's 5:30, and it's crackerjack. Do you remember? Right, well, it's going to be Friday, 3 o'clock, clarity at 3. There you go. And it'll be a moment of clarity. And the first one, put it in your diary. It's on Friday. So it's not this Friday, it's the following Friday. I must get my act together. I don't even know. I do know what I'm using, but I haven't prepped it yet. And lovely Dee Paramore's going to be helping me on this one. She's going to help me as well. So that'll be nice. I like to have Dee involved with that. That'd be cool. But it's going to be real low key, just like the SHAC, you know, just low key. Everything has to be low key at the moment. We can't be trying to do things the way we did things. We have to be gentler, more flexible. We have to slow down. You know, Stuart called us at 6 o'clock this morning. Again, he has to isolate now because his little boy has to isolate. You know, the children and the school children. There are so many different factors to consider. There's so much to consider. So we just have to take our foot off the pedal, do the best we can, roll with the punches, go with the flow, all those expressions. And the same goes for you, really. If you think that it's going to be exactly the same as it was, and if you think that it will all go back to normal, never going to go back to normal, you know? It's never going to go back to the way it was. I can't, not in my lifetime. I don't think so. You know, so you have to adapt. You have to change the way you roll. And so I figured out a while ago that those big exhibitions are not going to be happening for a while. You know, I don't think so. I don't think so. My heart goes out to those companies that relied on those exhibitions. I knew loads of people. You know, when I used to make the vases and that for years, I made beautiful slate vases. On the arty side, there was the stamp side, but then there was the arty side, the more craft, proper, like where I'd probably go now if I was selling my pottery, you know. And never going to happen in a tent, in a marquee. But I did those shows as well for years, you know. And I know loads of little artisans, loads of them, loads. Because I did them for 20 years. Stonner and Penshurst and beautiful exhibitions, arty, you know. And I know goldsmiths and jewellers and silversmiths and fine artists and painters, and it just goes on. The list is woodworkers, wood turners, furniture makers, basket weavers. It goes on and on and on. Fashion designers. I mean, and I know these people. They're friends, and they roll from. This is how they made their living. They rolled from one exhibition to the next one to the next one. That is how they made their money. And often it was very hand to mouth. You know, we slept in the vans. We camped out around the marquees at night. It was a good time. You know, it was a good time. I'm glad I did it when I did it. Sleeping in the van was a little bit ropey at times. I must tell you about, hang on. Just had a memory. We had some great times, you know. But those people were completely reliant on those exhibitions. They didn't, see, I was lucky. I used to, because stamping is very much, it was, now craft is a sort of all year round thing, isn't it? Although, having said that, you definitely tend to, business is slower in the summer. People go in the garden, people do their gardening. You know, that's a fact. This looks nice. But I was lucky because I used to do it was the way I paid the rent. It was the way we did it. I wonder where there they are. Look, Dave made this. Oh, look, I know. Dave the wood turner. Isn't that beautiful? It's really pretty. So, yeah, so I was lucky because I used to do stamps in the winter months. It would kick in with Ali Pali. That would be the first show of the autumn season, and it'd go from there. Ali Pali, then it'd be Port Sunlight, then sometimes, yeah, then the big ones would start. Glasgow, NEC, you know. But in the summertime, when after the NEC in March, that was the sort of the last of the. I mean, there were, I don't know. You had Ali Pali still, Alexandra Palace in London, right? So you did have some good stamp shows in that, but the summer months were dire, and that's when I went off on the road making vases. My brother made the vases, Mum and Dad made the vases. That's how we passed the summer months. We paid the rent in the summer with vases. So I got to know these people who didn't have stamps in the winter. They relied on the shows. That's how they made their money. They hit it hard at Christmas, and that's the point. They hit it hard at Christmas to see them through those months where the summer months were good for them, but those sort of February, March months were rubbish. So they really relied heavily on the Christmas months when they were on the show circuit. That's what we called it. It was a show circuit. It was like carnival, really. We're like carnies. Do you know what? I'm fine with that. It's certainly taught me the tricks of the trade, and it taught me humility, and it was a good time. But now, for these poor souls, I don't know how they're coping. You know, because it was very hand to mouth. And I was in the same boat, don't get me wrong. I remember we used to, it would be like, if I had a rubbish, I didn't have many rubbish shows actually with the vases because they were very, very popular. But sometimes, you know, if you've got a big bill or something, you had to pay out money, you would rely on a show to be able to pay the table fee for the next show. And some of the shows, they were astronomically expensive. And when we did the, you know, like the NEC and that, you're talking not hundreds, thousands for those pitches. Thousands, you know, and you'd stand there for 3 days just to get your money back. It was a bit of a mugs game, really, a bit of a cups game, you know. That's the truth of it, though. That's how it was. So, you know, often I used to think to myself, am I just standing there buying work, you know? But it was what we did. And did is the operative word, because I ain't going to be doing it anymore. All right? I'm in my 60s now. I'm done hauling blimmin' slate vases and jumping in and out of vans, up and down on the tail. Oh, no. I think I'd rather do this, to be honest. It might not make money, but it's certainly more relaxing. Is this looking good yet? Are we getting there? We are, aren't we? I think I might tackle the flowers now. Let's tackle the flowers. Right, now I've got to concentrate on the flowers. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put a little bit of just gently. I'm using the darker one now. Just going to put a little bit of an edge around there. Let's get a bit of shadow going. So just make that pop a bit. I think that would be nice. Have a look. Bit of a flick on the outside. Yeah. Yeah. I remember one one of my closest mates, she was lovely, Sophie. You may know her. She was a real character. Black girl. Sophie, peekaboo hats. Fabulous woman. Big personality. Just amazing. And she had the filthiest laugh. You could hear her in another marquee. Like, I you know, you just knew where she was, in what tent she was in. And I remember we were doing Stonner. It's just beautiful. The Chilterns. Fantastic venue. And we were doing Stoner with ICHF, which was a real premiere pucker. It was like, we used to call them dead man shoe shows. You couldn't get in. It was a waiting list. Okay. We got in because we had something unique, the vases. But anyway, so there we were at Stonor, and and we all slept in the van, right? So yeah, it was a real little. And what you do, but it was really hilly, right? It was really difficult to park up. So you had to be very careful where you parked, because otherwise all the blood would run to your head if you were parked on a slope. Anyway, so so we'd made this, and what you did was, because it was girls together, I was in my van on my own, and Soph was in her van, Sophia, I think she lives in France now. She was in her van on her own. So what we just said was, right, well, what you do is, the side doors, that's where you enter, we park the vans as close to each other, like anyone was going to attack us. I tell you what, I'd been more frightened of me than Sophia. Anyway, so we parked the vans so that the side doors, I opened my side door, she opened her side door, and we were looking at each other pretty much, right? And then so we went into Stonor, which is a really nice little, it's a nice, is that the town? I can't remember. There was a little town near, anyway, beautiful. What was it called? Really lovely. Anyway, so we'd had a long day, busy day, and we decided to go into town for a bite to eat. Anyway, Sophie likes to party, see? So I got caught up with Sophie, and then by the time we got back to the vans, it was the first night as well. By the time we got back to the vans, it was dark. Right, so everybody's already it's all quiet, right? And then I realised I hadn't blown up my mattress. I had a blow up mattress to sleep on. I said, "Oh, Soph, I haven't blown up my mattress," right? So we were whispering. I said, "Oh, okay." So she's half cut. She's had a few. So she falls in her, this and that, and well, it was funny. So she's fallen into her van and tried to shut the door quietly, and I had to get the pump out, right? You know, your foot pump. So you got your foot pump, and I thought, so then I had to, it was like, and I thought, I'm going to wake up the whole campsite like this. Sophie, she's from up north, she says, "Oh, Barbara, go faster." So I was like this. Anyway, it sounded really like someone was having fun in one of the vans, right? But it was just my blow-up pump. And I was going as fast as I could, because I thought I'd get it over with. And it sounded like a climax, right? And then she started laughing. And if you know Sophia, you would never forget this laugh. It was the filthiest. So then she started in her van, because she could hear me in my van. And she started. Then the dog started barking, you know, all that. The dog started barking. Somebody else said, "Who the bloody hell's coming home drunk?" And then off it went, the whole campsite. In the meantime, I'm still trying to blow up this mattress. Yeah. Oh, those were the days, I can tell you. Did we make any money? Yeah, we used to make good money. We did. We made enough money to do the next show anyway. Yeah. And it was okay, you know. It was okay. I remember Dave got done for speeding. He came along one morning early, 4 o'clock in the morning, coming to Stonor to bring me new supplies because we'd sold out. Yeah. And he got done for speeding. Coy was upset. Because it was a stupid o'clock in the morning. You know, like there was no one on the road. I think he had to go and do one of those, you know, it was either you pay 100 quid and you get points on your licence, or you go and do one of those courses, you know, slap your wrist, pay 80 quid, but don't get any points. I remember he had to go and do that. That was Stonor. Yeah. Stoner. Those are the days. You see, so we're not doing that kind of thing anymore. Is the volume still okay? I'm wittering onto myself here. Oh yeah, the tale of the mattress. And then the next day, everybody was moaning and oh, the bloody hell, everybody was having a right go. Did you hear that racket? Somebody was at it in a van. No, they weren't. Oh no, they weren't. They were on their own. Yeah. And then I remember doing another show. Oh, you had to really, what you do to earn a living. I had to dress up as Maid Marian. It was one of these medieval, you know, you've done that, you've gone to them, but we had to dress up as Maid Marian, right? All blousy. Okay, I went and got a fancy dress outfit. But it was one of these medieval jousting things. And in order to get a stand, you got it cheaper if you dressed up. So I dressed up as Maid Marian, all corsets and it was really hot. I remember being like melting in this blimmin' Maid Marian outfit, like a serving wench, you know, with the corset under and all the boobs are pulled up. Anyway, I remember, this is so funny, there was this harp player. He was selling CDs and he was opposite me and he couldn't. Oh, I thought if he plays Greensleeves one more time, I'm going to strangle him. The first time it was quite nice. Greensleeves, and I thought, yeah, okay, I'll cope with that. Day 3, you want to commit murder, right? It's like, crying out loud. That's all he knew, you know what I mean? Greensleeves. So needless to say, I didn't buy a CD. And the guy next to me, there was this fine artist, and I remember he looked like Henry VIII. He was a little bloke, and he was ever so posh, and he did watercolour paintings, and he was wearing the beret, and he was doing he looked like Henry VIII with his leggings on, and his beret, and he was doing watercolour scenes anyway, and he kept looking at me, but he couldn't see. He was too far down there to see the harpist. I was looking at the harpist. He was out of view because he had his screen up with all his artwork. Anyway, what was his name? He was a really nice bloke. Henry VIII, the painter. Anyway, I think his name was Richard. He was getting really frustrated about this music. And he said, if he plays, he came to me and he said, I can't stand it anymore. I can't, you know, Greensleeves. He said, I don't think I can handle this anymore. I'm going to have to say something. And I said to him, I said, well, you're going to have to wait till he comes back because he's got his cassette recorder on. He wasn't even there. The Greensleeves player. I said, before you can't, you'll have to wait to strangle him because he's not even there. He's out sunning himself, having a cigarette, and he's just put his tape on. And Henry VIII nearly had a heart attack when he realised that the harpist wasn't even there. He was at the bar. He did like the harpist, definitely the lean on the second syllable. So the harpist was at the bar and we were listening to his tapes. Honestly, the things you do to make a living. Now, you only know me from here, but I have a memory, fortunately, and I remember me from being a serving wench. Now, where was that? That was in Essex, I think. If I'm not mistaken, what was the name of that show? Steve would know, my brother would know. Yeah, it was a good one. It was a good one. Slept in the van there as well. Yeah, well, it saves you money. You do these shows for 4 days, you spend all your money in the hotels. Right, let's put a little bit of colour in here. How are we doing here? waffle, waffle, waffle. It's all right though. On Friday, well, guess what we're going to do on Friday? I think, if you don't mind, on Friday, we'll do the teal one, because we really have got it going on at the moment. I know I muck about and I lark about, but we've got it going on at work. And so I haven't got the time at the moment to do a lot of prep, you know, for this. I'm sure you understand. I'm pretty sure you get me. Right, this looks good though, doesn't it? I drink my tea out of that cup. On Friday, God, I've got a runny nose now from larking about and laughing. Let's see if I've got a tissue. Oh, I have a tissue. That was the other thing, when I had this test done, I had a sneezing fit. Can't have been hygienic. Ramming this thing was rod up my nose. Not rotor. No wonder I started sneezing. I can't, again. Pleasant? Not. This looks so nice, doesn't it? So you've got the light hitting that on there. May do a bit more around there. And then what you do is you start pressing. You just keep adding layers. Like, this is quite nice though. I like this one. Now, with this rim here, do we leave it white or do we add a little bit? Right, here we go. So I'm going to add a bit of pink, I think. But I want to keep a little tiny flash of white going on as well. So I'm going to stay away from the, like that. Do I like that, or have I gone wrong now? No, that'll do. Right, just a little flash of pink. Leave a little bit of white in the middle. There you go. And then we've got the flowers, and then you can decide whether you want to do them pink or white. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Right. And now you can add a bit more. What colour is this? This is the darker one. Okay. Bit of shadow, bit of drop shadow. I'm going to put some leaves in. Cool, I've enjoyed a little moment. I haven't thought about those days for years. But the point is that I'm making, done that, been there, got the t-shirt, bought everybody else's t-shirts as well. Yeah. And now what we're going to do is a moment of clarity on Facebook Live, which to me is like, it's an alternative way. It's not the same. I could dress up as Maid Marian if you fancy. But what I mean is, it's a way of selling my wares. It sure is. Without leaving the building. So you're safe, I'm safe. I'll demonstrate it. We'll have a bit of banter. Paul will be there. Just like the good old days. Except we'll all be safe. That's the point. That's the point. But we can have the banter on Facebook Live. That's the other thing that I like, you see. We can have the banter. And we can have the chat, and we can hang out, and we can do a super price, and so on and so on. So it's selling, but it's it's gently, because that's what we said, wasn't it? That we're going to travel gently through this year. So we're going to have a moment of clarity, and that's going to be on Friday not this Friday, Friday the 22nd. That'll be the first one. And it'll be at 3 o'clock. And the moments of clarity, if we change the times or we do, they'll always be at 3. And if I can get my crackerjack hat on, they'll always be on a Friday. It's Friday. It's 5 to 5. And it's crackerjack. There you go, see. We remember. It's a certain age group, hey? A certain age group, we will remember that. Right, I want to put a little bit of grey just to finish off, I think, with the pink. I'm going to turn this round. There you go. Looks good though, doesn't it? Shall we have a look from the other camera? I always think this camera makes it look great. Right, before and after. So I haven't put any grey down. I haven't stuck this cup inside that cup yet. It's still a little bit flat. Yeah? So now I'm going to use 2 different greys, playing it safe, Paul will give you there's a set. If you've got the pergoliners, the pergoliners are great. They're brilliant because you've got the watercolour as well. However, what we don't like about the pergoliners, and I did try and change it, but our computer says no, there's no grey. There's no greys in the pergoliners, which is a shame. So what we did was, where there's a will, there's a way. We put together a set of Polychromos pencils, which are the Faber-Castell ones, which are beautiful. And in that set, we put in greys and all the ones that are missing, like in my opinion, in the pergoliner set. Gold, copper, all the metallics, the greys, Payne's grey, the best. You know the one. We're going to get these out again. That warm grey too, my favourite one that I use for just about everything. So yeah, it's a good set. If you haven't got it and you fancy joining in with the colouring, next week when we start on the colouring again, what we're going to do, we're going to reach for our postcards, these ones. Okay, that's what we're going to reach for next week, because these are good. If you haven't got them yet, get them. Well, you don't have to, but if you want to join in, you definitely need a set of postcards. They're only a tenner. Cheap as chips for all 3 sets. So it'll last us all year, I reckon. So we're going to pick one of these. We're going to pick one of these and we're going to colour these in, and we're going to use our Polychromos and our pergoliners. And if you've got the pergoliners, then I highly recommend that you get these as well, the set of 12, to complement, because then we'll be rocking and rolling next week when we start on our postcards. And then on Friday next week, we're going to have the moment of clarity. I'm not going to put any pressure on myself. It's no different. It'll be the same people all hanging out, except I'm going to be showcasing something new. There you go. Something new. And all you've got to do is rock up with your cup of tea for a moment of clarity. There you go. Now that was what I call a pitch. That is what I call a pitch. Yeah. You know, it's funny. I spent so many years at exhibitions, and many of you will remember me, because that's how we never had a shop, did we? That was our shop, the exhibitions. And I spent so many years standing up, demonstrating different techniques. And you know, I never stop, do I? I just go like, I go and go and go and go and go, like I never had a battery. And so it's funny because I have to demonstrate standing up in the main now. This is really unusual. I mean, when I work, here I'm sitting because otherwise I get backache for an hour. But I always stood at the jump. I always stood, didn't I, at the demo podium, so that I was at eye level with the customer, so that I wasn't sitting down looking up all the time, and I was able to talk to people at the back, you know, and that was if I had a crowd. That sounded a little bit pretentious, didn't it? But often I did get a good crowd going, you know. Then I was on a roll, but I always stood to demonstrate. That's my point. And so this is a sign of the times when I'm not only sitting down, but I'm lowering my chair so that my nose is closer to the artwork. You know, I'm on a hide into nowhere, really, don't you? I'm looking forward to a moment of clarity. It'll be put a different hat on. You know, I'm going to put my old Carney hat on, I think. I don't know if I'm going to dress up as a Maid Marian. We could do themes, couldn't we? On when you come on Friday, what's today? Wednesday? Is it Wednesday? When you come on Friday, bring your tea in your best cup. Pick your best cup. Yeah? Bring your tea in your best cup. That'd be great. You see, so you go over, even if you go over the bits you've coloured, you see, like that, it doesn't matter, it's the shadow. So I'm just dress up the layer like this, right? So this is going to give us, so you use the lighter colour, just gently, up to here. Don't want to make it too dirty. But you see how it's starting to, yeah, see suddenly it looks like that's tucked inside now because of the shadow. But then you take the darkest one. This is where I went with the black because I was in a bit of a black mood on. I was in a little bit of a black mood on Monday. Right, there you go. So I'll take my dark Payne's grey, which is lovely colour. It's good in the paint as well, golden paint. It's a sort of a bluey grey, isn't it? Lovely. There you go. And you'll see, now let's turn it around on the impressive camera. Look, see how it changes it? So you can see when you look at it there, I need to put a little bit more grey in that corner because that's the corner that's going to throw, that the shadow will throw up to there, won't it? So if I put a little bit of grey in there, it doesn't matter if you completely obliterate the pink. And then we'll take our blending pen and we'll just tone that down. That'll look pretty. There you go. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of cup number 2, please. How's that? You like? I might do a little bit more on the handle when you're all gone. But that brings us to the end of our hour. Yeah, it does. See how shiny the top one is? That's because I've already burnished it. I've glazed it. I'm going to do that this afternoon. I've got a little bit of work to do on the new design club. I know it's taken a little bit longer than usual to get out. Well, actually, it's not taking longer than usual. What happened was we wanted to get it out earlier, but then this happened and that person got ill and that person... So we've ended up back where we were. But it's all right. Guaranteed to be delivered unless the postman also... He wasn't in the queue at Detling, so we should be all right. Be all right. It will be fine. Just keep smiling. I'm going to love you and leave you. We'll do the teal one on Friday, if that's okay, at 10 o'clock. Business as usual. I'll be here just to keep you company if you fancy it. Okay? Lots of love. Paul, thanks for all your help. And I shall see you on Friday. Be safe. Bye-bye now.